Hello everybody, in this video I'm going to show you how we can read a file using C. To read a file, we'll need a file to work with. Within our project folder, let's create a new file. I'll name this file input.txt. Then think of something to write. I'll write a poem. Here's my poem. Roses are red, violets are blue, booty booty booty, rockin' everywhere. Let's be sure to save it. You can use Ctrl S to save it automatically. Now we're going to read this file. Here's how. We'll define a pointer to where this file is located. This is a struct. The data type is file, all caps. Then let's think of a pointer name. Use the dereference operator. We'll say lowercase p, then the word file. Now this is going to equal, we'll call the fopen function. We have to pass in a file path and a mode. The file path can be a relative file path or an absolute file path. We'll stick with the relative file path, at least in the beginning, just because this file is within the same project folder. Here you'll list the name of the file. The name of my file is input.txt. Be sure to get the extension too. Then we need a mode. We'll use R for read, whereas in the last video, we used W for write. We need R this time. Now, when we open a resource, such as opening a file, I recommend we write the code to close it right away, just so we don't forget to do it later. When we open a file, when we're done with it, we'll call fclose to close it. We will close the pointer to the file. The reason that we're closing this file is because you don't want to leave any resources open when your program is finished. Now, in case for some reason we can't open this file or locate it, this function will return a value of null. And we can use that. If the pointer to our file is null, then we'll print could not open file. We'll use printf, could not open file. At the end of this if statement, we'll return an exit code of 1. We're telling the C compiler that there was an error. If you reach the end of the program and you return 0, that means there were no errors. If you return 1, that means there was an error. And let's test this. Let's say I get the file extension wrong. Instead of txt, this will be txp. Well, we get this error message that we wrote. Could not open file. But if we could locate this file, input.txt, well then we don't get that error message, which is good. Now, another thing that we'll need is a buffer. A buffer is like a waiting room, and it temporarily stores data for us to read in this case. We'll create a character array of buffer, but we do need to specify a size. The size will be in bytes. A good general purpose size is 1024 bytes, 1 kilobyte. And then just to clear it, I'm going to initialize it to 0. Just in case we accidentally read it before assigning it, we won't get unexpected behavior. Now, the reason that we need a buffer, it's going to temporarily store data. For a real-life example, if we didn't have a buffer, that'd be like us reading a book one word at a time, then going across the room to write down that word. If we have a buffer, it would be as if we're reading a whole paragraph from a book, then going across the room to write that paragraph down. It'll make your program more efficient. But if your buffer is too big, you'll be using a lot of wasted memory. 1024 bytes is a good general purpose size, but you can adjust this depending on what you're reading. Alright, now here's how we can read the text from a file. One technique is to use a while loop. Within the condition of the while loop, we'll use the fgets function. Once we run out of text, fgets will return a value of null. And we can check for that while the value returned by fgets does not equal null. But there's a few things we need to pass into the fgets function. We need our buffer. That's where we'll be storing the text from the file. Then the size of the buffer, which is 1024 bytes. But rather than manually coding a number here, I recommend using the sizeof function. Return the size of our buffer. Just in case we decide to change it later, we don't have to manually do it here too. This will adjust it automatically. Then we need a pointer to our file. Alright, now during each cycle of this while loop, we'll print whatever's within our buffer. Printf, we're displaying a string. We will display what's within our buffer. And that's it. Let's run this. Here's my poem. Roses are red, violets are blue, booty booty booty, rockin' everywhere. Let's say that this file is someplace else, maybe on your desktop. Well, we can use an absolute file path. Here's how. Let's take our file. Let's pretend this wasn't here. Let's take our file and move it to our desktop. Then we just need the file path. You can right-click it, go to Properties, then copy this location. And we can delete this. With fopen, we're going to paste that file path, preceding the file name. You'll likely need to use double backslashes. Alright, and we should be able to read that file too. Roses are red, violets are blue, booty booty booty, rockin' everywhere. Alright everybody, that is how to read a file using C.